10. Carry On Alice breaks their hearts again.
Pulling clear in the closing stages. Smart Call wins the Jambi Mid. And Smart Call comes home to win it in the main Johns Farms Paddock Stakes.
Fabulous to be with you again for another edition of Breeding to Win. We've had some fantastic racing over the last couple of weekends around the country, and I think a nice warm-up to the summer season of equine racing. Certainly looking forward to it. Well, time now to take a look at what's in store for you on tonight's show. We chat to Pippa Mickleborough about Oratorio, who has fought off laminitis. Fee catches up with Vion Smith, new CEO of CTS. Our studio guest is Alistair Cohen. And last but not least, we have some fun with last Saturday's Jockeys Race.
Your world of winners is now online at www.teletrack.com. Simply subscribe to log into your account from any mobile device in South Africa and access a wide variety of content from our membership package options. Listen in via a live audio stream, catch live racing locally and internationally, or view a wide variety of Teletrack magazine shows to stay informed and updated on the go at any time. It's never been easier. Go to teletrack.com now.
Great fight and determination. We've witnessed a really first-class performance.
It's soft falling rain, who is powering away. We'll see out the mile in style. A high-class performer wins the Mayor Joel Stakes.
Soft Falling Rain is drawing clear. Soft Falling Rain has won the Godolphin Mile.
Under pressure that early, deep, and still keep finding in the straight. It just shows you how good this horse is and what heart he's got.
Flower Alley is the winner of the 136 Travers Stakes. I'll have another has won the Kentucky Derby.
Aventure Stud's resident stallion Oratorio was recently diagnosed with an extremely painful hoof disease called laminitis. Unfortunately, he's had to put his stallion duties aside for the season. Pippa Mickleborough catches up with the Breeding to Win team and tells us all about it.
You've probably all read in the press that Oratorio suffered a very, very bad bout of laminitis recently, and we're here at Aventure Stud to chat to Pippa Mickleborough about his progress. Now, for those who don't know, laminitis is a very, very painful disease which affects the hoof area going into the pedal bone, and it is very, very painful for the horse and makes it very, very difficult for them to stand and walk. Now, Pippa's done an amazing job in bringing Oratorio back to his best, and he looks absolutely fantastic. And we're also catching up with Pippa's new deliveries. These These are August babies here in the paddock, and they really are looking very good. Well, we're here at Aventure with Oratorio in his box, and Pippa, I must say, from what he's been through, he looks absolutely amazing. As we've all read about his laminitis, it's a terrible, painful illness, isn't it?
It's a very painful disease, but, you know, I can remember when I first spoke to everybody about him when he came to South Africa, his character, he's got the most amazing nature, and he's just taken the change of routine and diet very well. Obviously a bit frustrated, but doing well, yeah. Good condition, doing well.
So obviously he's lost his book of mares for this season.
At this stage, we've had to sort of pull the plug so that everybody can plan. So everybody who purchased services has been refunded. Shareholders have been, are up to speed with everything. We'll do more X-rays on Tuesday, which will then be sort of 6 weeks since the diagnosis. I don't know. Let's hope maybe we can get going in late November December. But at the moment, no. Yeah.
I always sort of remember that ponies get laminitis often from eating too much lush grass, but it's happening more and more in racehorses and older horses as well. What do you think caused it for him?
You know, his blood tests tell us there's nothing untoward wrong. He hasn't got any metabolic problems. I think he's a big, strong horse. You know, he maybe has a little bit of a small foot for his size. I mean, he was working well. He got off the mare. He looked a bit sore. We thought he had an abscess. But it's slight. It's just there. But, you know, he's a valuable horse, and he's so young, really. And Stallion, he's got 5 to 6 years ahead of him. So if I can look after him now, maybe we'll... Listen, it's difficult. No.
But I think you've done amazingly well, because, I mean, we know it's such a painful disease, and he does really look amazing, and you've obviously got to monitor his diet, and you've really put a lot of hard work in.
Yeah, it's not an easy seeing a Stallion in the middle. He knows what's going on out there. You know, he'd love to be working. And he's in the stable. He can't go out in the paddock. He's literally just sitting here, you know, so we keep him amused with balls and come and say hello. He's on his sugar-free polos now and a few organic carrots now and then, but really quite restricted, yeah.
Well, I hope you're telling him how fantastically well he's still doing on the track with his results.
Listen, I think it's very sad. It can be catastrophic for his career, but let's hope that what's left will keep his flag flying high. He's doing so well. His 3-year-old's already doing amazing. Every day he's got winners. So it's very sad, but let's hope he'll be bounced back, yeah.
Well, it couldn't have happened at a worse time for you, because you've got foaling season, you're up all night, and you're looking after your big baby as well.
Yeah, and also, you know, it was a decision this year for the syndicate to take the pressure off VAR, because he's also getting old, but he's got to take a bit of the slack now. But I must say that VAR has never worked like he's working now. I don't know whether he knows, but he is really covering well. I don't know if he's just realised he must step up to the plate and take some of the pressure off Pippa, so...
Absolutely. Well, I read that you've got some pretty smart foals in the paddock.
We've had a great... Listen, this breeding season is not funny, not for the faint-hearted. You have very sad days, but you have lots of lovely days. A beautiful half-brother to Valderrama by Dynasty, so it's very exciting. A lovely Dynasty colt out of Bambina Stripes, a Group 1 winner. Some super mares and foal already, Valderrama to Trippy. So, yes, it's going all right, but listen, ups and downs, no doubt.
And a nice River Jet, as I read.
River Jet is very smart, but she's safely in foal to Silvana. So, listen, you know, the good outweigh the bad, yeah.
And also I've heard that Miss Frankel has arrived back here in Cape Town, so that's really exciting. Is she doing well?
Yes, she arrived, I think, last Wednesday. She looked lightened up a little bit on the trip, but just spoke to Dennis this morning. He's delighted. He said she looks amazing. Listen, let's hope and pray she has a good Cape summer, you know. It's just nice to see her.
Absolutely. Well, we're all excited to see her, and I follow her on Facebook all the time. Well, you've done really well with Oratorio. Keep up the sugar-free polar mints and the diet, and we wish him all the best and look forward to having you back in action. Thank you, Pippa.
Thanks, Fee.
As ever, the Breeding to Win team have had a great morning here at Aventure. It's great to see Oratorio doing well after his really bad bout of laminitis. Just a few more mares to foal down, and the sales season is just around the corner, so Pippa's got a busy time ahead, and I'm sure we'll be back here at Aventure very shortly.
Well, there have been some exciting changes for the Cape Thoroughbred sales over the last couple of months. Most recently, of course, the announcement of their acquired stake in Cuda Holdings. And now Vion Smith was announced as the new CEO of CTS. Fee Ramsden catches up with Vion to tell us more.
We're here this afternoon at the Cuda offices to chat to Vion Smith. Now, with an actuarial background and already a very successful business running in the insurance company of Cuda Insurance, he has now been appointed the CEO of CTS Sales Company. That's a fantastic achievement, and what an honour you have to be made the CEO of CTS-VN.
Yes, thanks so much, Fee. It's a bit daunting, another big responsibility, but something that I'm very excited with and something that I'm looking forward to.
And you're working alongside Kerry Jack. She's also been appointed as the manager of that side of things, and what a great team.
Absolutely, Kerry was the first appointment, and I made that appointment fairly soon after taking the job, and Kerry's got a great experience in working in the bloodstock industry, and looking at horses and acting as a bloodstock agent and working in a variety of other parts of the industry, and I'm really confident that she's going to do the job. And
a great admin team as well behind you.
Absolutely, it was obviously a great loss to CTS with Amanda moving on to Ridgemont and Highlands, but Amanda's left a great legacy. Amanda's got a very strong administration team in Kirsty Kurtzer and Charmaine Kreur, and we'll just build on the work that Amanda and her team has done in that space.
Well, you're the perfect man for the job. You've got all the experience. You've got your Cuda business already up and running and absolutely flying, and you love your horses yourself as a racehorse owner. There couldn't be anyone better to fit the bill.
No, that's very kind of you. But I do think it's a good fit. I think there's a lot of very automatic synergies almost between Cuda and CTS, and it's up to us to make those synergies work and to get the best out of both companies and just continue providing a world-class service. And CTS, much like Cuda, has been very innovative in the space and has really changed the landscape of thoroughbred sales in South Africa. And if you look at the extent to which international buyers are now involved at CTS sales, and the level at which service has been pegged and what people have become to have come to expect as the norm from CTS, that's very much in line with what we believe we've achieved with the insurance business, and which we'll continue to grow on with a combined group.
Absolutely, I think it's a perfect match. So going forward, we've got lots of things to get excited about, haven't we? We've got the Ready to Run sale around the corner and the Landsraad Ready to Run race day.
Yeah, it's amazing. The Christmas decorations are out, so I guess it's almost end of the year, and the Ready to Run sales is just a little bit more than a month away. So very exciting. We've got a very, very strong draft of horses, 146 lots. And this year, with there only being the one Ready to Run sale, not the Johannesburg one, it seems to have, the quality of the sale certainly seems to be stronger than last year for me. So I'm very excited about those results. And as you said, only a month away, and also wonderful that it's all in one weekend. We've got the gallops and the breeze ups on the Thursday morning, the sale on the Friday evening, and then the very lavish Landsraad race day on the Saturday, where we're going to be giving away 2.5 million rand in stakes to one of the horses from the sale from last year. So great weekend and a great way to end off the year for us as a sales company. And then soon thereafter it's CPYS, Cape Premier Yearling Sale Time, which is our flagship event, and I know we're going to go. That sale's gone from strength to strength over the last number of years, and I think we're going to take it even one step up this year, particularly with regards to the number of international buyers that'll be buying from that sale. Kerry and John Kramer and Tom Thornbury are actually busy with the selections process for that sale now. We've got a very strong, on pedigree, the entries look excellent, and the farms which they've already visited, apparently there's some very special horses. So I think we can have a very strong sale in terms of quality of horses available, and there's going to be a lot of competition for buying those horses.
And hopefully, if the export protocol does get lifted, that'll be a lot more opportunity for better market.
Absolutely, it really is a game changer from everyone's perspective, and I actually think we underestimate the extent to which the lifting of export protocols would positively influence the whole industry. And with Adrian Todd now being solely focused on that can only help. And Chris and Adrian have done a lot of great work in that space, and with the input from various other players in the industry as well. And that would certainly be a game changer on a number of levels. The number of overseas people buying horses from our yearling and other sales, and even more importantly, the secondary trade in horses. The ability for us as South Africans to buy yearlings and rands at horse sales here, and then for the successful ones to suddenly have an asset that can be sold in euros or in dollars or in pounds. That makes the the financial side of things, makes a lot more sense to buy a horse.
It's a big incentive, isn't it?
Absolutely, and also to take our better horses overseas and race for the big stake spots available around the world will certainly make a big difference to our industry, and it's something that I believe will happen. It's and we're getting a lot of good input and good feedback from the likes of Adrian and the progress being made on that front, and we all live in hope.
And you've got the new Premier auction in April.
Yes, absolutely. So the April sale, we've reduced the number of sales. I think the whole industry felt that there were just simply too many sales around, and we've combined what was previously the Book 2 sale, the March yearling sale, with the Empress Palace Johannesburg sale. We've combined that into one sale, being held early April. Where there's going to be a select session for the later developing horses that would have otherwise been sold at the Cape Premier yearling sale, and then there'll be a second session which would be similar to what the March yearling sale would have been last year, and then a third session where we're really giving a breeder's opportunity to sell horses at very, very low cost, and we believe that sale will also offer great value to people wanting to buy in the low value echelons.
Absolutely. And you've also you're just about to head off on a roadshow with Kerry.
Yes, we've done so. We've seen a number of breeders already. I don't know where the time goes, and we haven't unfortunately been able to see everybody, but we have seen a number of breeders, and we've got some great feedback and input from the people that we have seen. Kerry's obviously going to see a lot more of the breeders as part of the roadshow, and as part of the selections process. And once she's returned from the selections process, we'll start again and see the breeders that we haven't seen yet. And there's, for me, with Kerry's position, there's a real strong focus in servicing the needs of our vendors and our breeders, and I think Kerry will be actively involved this year, and even to a greater extent next year, in assisting breeders with decisions around which sales horses are to be sold at, and advising around that. And then the second part of the job would be obviously to manage buyer relationships and ensure that we get the right buyers at the sales. But I think I always believe that if you get the right horses at a sale, the buyers tend to come. So we really value vendor relationships, and we're investing heavily in the extent to which we service those.
And are the catalogues out yet for the ready-to-run sale?
Yes, the catalogues are out. Most people should have received catalogues by now, and if not, they're in the post. And the catalogues are also on our website, www.capethoroughbredsales.com. There's all the information for the upcoming sales on the website.
Well, thank you very much, Bjorn, for chatting to us this morning. Wish you all the best for the future and the coming season and all the sales ahead. Lots of work to be done, but it's really, really exciting. And we'll see you at the ready-to-run sale.
Yes, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
He's a stallion. He's by Galileo, who's the best stallion in the world. He's out of a Pivotal mare, who's Pivotal's the best stallion in England, and he's a great horse.
The United States now striding freely. It's well clear with 100 metres to go.
Persuasive on the outside of Wuhader. Winter's kicking on the far side though. She's so tough. Hydrate is coming out of low and one.
The United States being tackled by Haraki. The United States repelling the challenge of Haraki. And the United States draws clear to win the round at by 3/4.
This horse produces a quality, precocity, and soundness. Whether they win at 2 years old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6, they just keep on running.
lead now for Rosie Napravnik in the Secretariat Stakes, and Royal Kitten on top.
Well, the familiar voice of race caller and teletrack presenter Alistair Cohen has crept into the hearts of the racing fraternity over the last couple of years. Probably more so over the last 10 months, when Alistair last year was diagnosed with cancer, young talent at only 26 years old. It is my pleasure to welcome Alistair Cohen, the man with the big voice, almost as big as mine, to the Breeding to Win show. Al, lovely to have you here.
Yeah, Jules, thanks so much for having me. Greatly appreciate the opportunity, and yeah, nice to be sitting across from you for the first time in a while.
Yeah, it has been. It's your first time on the Breeding to Win show, but obviously not the best circumstances, needless to say. But how are you doing 10 months since your world was turned upside down, inside out?
Unbelievably well, Jules. I can't tell you how amazing life feels. I mean, you get thrown these curveballs all the time, and you just kind of brush it off. But when you're tasked with staring something in the face that you never thought you would ever experience, things turn around, and you just appreciate things so much more. I mean, the job that I do, the life that I live, the car that I drive, the house that I live in, you take it in now, and you just really appreciate what you've got and how blessed I am. And I probably shouldn't be here.
No, you definitely should be here, Al, otherwise you wouldn't be here, but you definitely deserve it. 26, still very young, to be hit with a disease like cancer. I mean, how did that make you feel 10 months ago?
It didn't actually hit me when the urologist first told me that I had cancer. With my age, you'll find that testicular cancer does hit males between the ages of 16 and 30. So I was in the bracket of being vulnerable to testicular cancer. But when I was told, I thought, well, how hard can it be? I mean, what do I really have to go through? Obviously, I'd heard stories with Paul Lafferty and a number of other people in the past on how tough it had been and how much of a challenge it was. But the time when it really, really struck me was when I went under the drip for the first time, and I went into the Santon Oncology Centre for the first time, and I just saw all these juices running through my veins. And while I was sitting there, again, I thought, oh, I can handle this. I'm a big, strong boy. But the drive home after I got taken off the first time, that's when I knew that this is quite something, and now I know why this disease is all that they make it out to be.
And obviously you knew then that you had a tough road ahead of you.
I did, but racing people are amazing people, and they made it a lot easier.
Absolutely. Well, let's just quickly touch on that, because I, for one, have always said, I know we're so competitive amongst ourselves in the racing fraternity, whether it's jockeys, trainers, owners, race goers, but when something tragic happens or when you need someone's support, it's amazing how the racing fraternity become one family, and we all just stick together.
Yeah, to this day, Julie, I still don't know all the people that actually rallied around me for that golf day. I mean, there were a lot of anonymous donations, but that golf day at Blair Athol that Justin Vermaak and Anthony Daytoom had organized for me. I mean, I was humbled to see the whole thing was full up. People up from Cape Town, from Durban, obviously a lot of Joburg people had come up for it. And I mean, I didn't know any names that would be there, any people that would be there. But I sort of got there at 11 o'clock after the day had begun, and they got to the halfway house, and I just saw Chris Van Niekerk, Eric Van Niekerk, Matthew Sham, Grant Knowles, James Goodman, Dees Diane. I mean, good mates, yes. But I mean, to know that, for example, Grant, Dees, James Goodman had come. James and Dees had actually driven up for the week. That they had made the effort to come to the golf day, and just everything that went with it, the auction, the support, the things that were put up. It really, really humbled me. And like I said that night, when I grabbed the microphone from Neil, who emceed it, I said, I've had many great opportunities in my life because of racing. Even though that it wasn't an opportunity, it was something done out of the goodness of people's hearts. It was still probably the one day where it really, really hit me that I'm in a special game, a special organization with special people.
100%. Tell us, Al, how you felt when it actually occurred to you how you were going to fight this. What emotions actually started going through you?
I've always been the type of person to have a very strong mind, very, very strong-willed. I mean, you know, I'm a bit of a bull in the china
Well,
shop.
that's, you know, when it all hit me, because it was a huge shock, I think, to the whole racing community when we heard about you, because you're so young, and I mean, you're cocky and you're vibey, and you never ever looked ill, and then all of a sudden we got this news just before Christmas. I thought to myself, you know what, Al can fight this because he's got that cocky attitude. And I think I was one of those people that said, okay, well, you know, we'll see that kind of side coming through Alistair now.
My whole attitude for the whole process, for the 3 months that I was in chemo, was, you know, just do it with a smile on your face. And the day that my oncologist got my scan results and told me that I was clear, it's just words that have lived with me, you know, since. I mean, it was early July that I got my first results. He said, if I had all my patients like you, my job would be so much easier, because he says that he's never seen a patient that's just taken things on the way that I did. But again, I think that's because of the support that I had around me. I mean, it wasn't a case of me looking for that type of support. I think it was natural from the racing people. As you said, they rally around people no matter what's going on. And we've seen that with a number of racing personalities in the past. But the way that I got carried, whether it was my friends that I went to school with that have no interest in racing, whether it was the people in racing that came to the oncology center, whether it was people that just came to visit me, that came to make me lunch or buy me lunch or something like that, it was just all that pushed me over the line, well over the line, to be honest.
Fantastic that you've actually come through it so well. So I have to ask you, when was your last test and what's the prognosis going forward? What stage are you at now?
I'm waiting for my second scan, which should be in the next couple of weeks. So holding thumbs. I mean, I've spoken to a number of people that have been down this road before, that when you're actually sitting there going through your scan, a whole lot of things run through your mind. And when I actually did my first scan, which was in early July, those things do run through your mind. Am I okay? Oh, my toe's a bit sore. I wonder if that's anything to worry about.
It's like mind games.
Yes.
It's like these constant little things that obviously niggle at you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But no, I know that I'm fit and healthy. I know that I'm strong. I'm not in any pain, and just looking forward to what the future holds. And I think that's the beauty of life, is that tomorrow something might be completely different. Another curveball, another opportunity. You don't know what it is, and you just got to embrace it.
I know since the last time we presented together, and that was well over a year ago, and that, of course, was First Call when we used to do it in the mornings, and obviously being on course, we presented a few times together. There's been a totally different side of you. There's a change that's all of a sudden you've grown up. And for me, that I can see it in your presenting, I can hear it in your race calling, and I think others do as well. But even as a person, how has this cancer changed your life?
Like I said at the top, the appreciation of things is, you know, something that you take and you embrace a hell of a lot more. But, you know, with regard to maturity, whether it was at that time where I turned the corner, or whether it was now that I'm 27 in a few weeks' time, whether it's, you know, that age where things start to dawn on you and life gets real, I'm not 100% sure whether it was the diagnosis.
I can tell you right at the top, most men never grow up. So it's not the 27-year-old phase. I think it's what you've gone through that has definitely changed you.
Yeah,
and most men are going to be sitting there saying, how can she say that? I'm sorry, I've got 3 brothers. I know.
You know about it, yes. But just in terms of growing up, I think that it also has a lot to do with how I need to conduct myself around people. Because like I said, for example, at the golf day, to see that, you know, people that don't need to support you, they've been there, they've done it, but they were there for me. And, you know, there are going to be those instances where I am with someone that I really, really look up to, and I can't be this petulant little child anymore. So that might have been one of the days that really helped me turn the corner.
Just before you were diagnosed, you enjoyed a lovely trip down to America, and I think it was one of your first big trips that you went overseas, and of course you went to the Breeders' Cup, and it was a huge thing for you then. Is that the goal for you going forward? Is that where you want to be in life? Absolutely. Overseas is number one, and it has nothing to do with the fact that I think anything of South African racing. I love South African racing. I honestly think it's so well structured in the way that, you know, from a horse being born on the farm to retirement and everything in between, the sales ring, the breaking in, the 2-year-old career, the classics, into, you know, wherever the path might take the horse. I think that South African racing is just so well structured in that whole regard and things like that. But there's just so much opportunity overseas. I'd love to go overseas, and I don't think anyone in this country
that's sort of taking the same path as me, or I mean, you know, whether it be another presenter or another caller. Overseas, I think, is the ultimate. A place like Hong Kong would be high up on the list. I'd go to America. Funny enough, Japan really appeals to me as well. Europe, of course, we've just seen the Ark. I mean, that just looked absolutely amazing. So yes, there are a lot of places that I can get into, but you know, there's nothing wrong with getting a little bit better here, because there's always room for improvement. Doesn't matter what people say, how good they might say you are, or how bad they say that you might be. You know, there's always a little bit more that you can learn. There's always that little bit better that you can be. So I want to push to that level, and then
I'm surprised I'm actually hearing that from you, because at one stage I think you thought you were the best.
Well, I mean, that's a matter of opinion. Listen, you know as well as anyone else does, Jules, you can't please everybody.
No, absolutely.
You're going to have your detractors, and you're going to have a lot of people that are positive about you, and you know, you learn to live with it. And I mean, the best example I can give is look at the Springboks, 57-0 3 weeks ago. Oh, they must all go. They're not good enough to. They're not worthy to wear the green and gold. And now all of a sudden, you know, they're back to where they should be. So, you know, people do have short minds. We know that. But at the end of the day, that's one thing that makes racing great, is all the opinions, all the things that people say. It just never gets old, and it's only going to bring a smile to your face.
Absolutely, and it keeps us going.
Absolutely.
It just keeps us fighting and wanting more from the game. Alistair, it's been an absolute pleasure. Just before we round off, I have to ask you, if somebody is watching you right now and they battling with probably one of the biggest battles of their life, what would your advice to them be?
It's all in the mind. Everything is in the mind. If you have a positive, healthy mind, you can overcome anything. The moment that you drop your head and say it's all over, it probably will be all over. Just keep being positive, keep thinking straight, and the people around you, although they might tell the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts, they're there for a reason, so listen to them.
Thank you very, very much. We wish you all the best with your next appointment. We'll be rooting for you, and you are part of our family no matter what.
Thanks so much, Jules. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks to Alistair Cohen.
Roy Waugh is the new trainer here in Cape Town, stabled in one of the Milnerton barns, and what a great little string he's got already. We've seen a few of them today with shares still available, and what a fantastic background in racing Roy has. He's not only trained in this country, but he's trained in America as well, and he was responsible for taking Harry's son to Dubai for his campaign for Paul Lafferty. Being great friends with Paul Lafferty for many years, he's assisting him in this new Milnerton setup, and what an exciting season it looks for him. We've got a new trainer here in Cape Town, Roy Waugh. He knows plenty about racing, been in racing for many years and trained himself, and great mates with Paul Lafferty. The yard is owned by Paul Lafferty, and Roy will be assisting here. And we've got boxes 16 and some great horses, some of which we've seen today, and the shares available. Roy, it's very exciting, a lovely little yard, great horses.
Yeah, look, we haven't bought many winners down here. I think we've got, let me think, 3 winners. And out of the 16, the rest either one has raced and the rest are unraced. But there's some nice unraced 3-year-olds, some nice unraced 2-year-olds, and I brought probably the best that we had there.
You've had plenty experience yourself in racing abroad in America and in this country.
Yeah, I spent 10 years training in America, and then I came here in '88 and I started a satellite yard for Ricky Maingard in Johannesburg. Then I went on my own for about 8 years and then took a sabbatical. And when I came back, I hooked up with Paul just because he's my mate. And the first horse that came along was Harry's Son. And he was champion 2-year-old and very good horse. And we took him to Dubai. He didn't do badly in Dubai, but it's a tough ask, that 5-month in quarantine and then racing in 4 different seasons, and very difficult.
Well, you've come here at the right time. We've got the Cape season ahead of us. Exciting times.
Yeah, look, I've always liked Cape Town. It's a nice place. and they've done a great job renovating the track at Durbanville. I just hope we get some rain. I know that we're really battling down here for rain. So we don't have the luxury of working on the grass, which is going to be something we have to work around. But no, I look forward to it. It's going to be tough, but I look forward to it.
And have you got some possible candidates for some of the big races, hopefully?
Yeah, I got a nice horse in Sniper Shot. I did run him straight away. We came down in the middle of last month. I ran him the first week of the month at Durbanville, only because I wanted to get a race in him without being able to go on the grass. And he didn't run a bad race. It looked better than it looked. He came from about 8 lengths off them. So it was within about a length of the leaders from 200, and then got a little tired, but we expected him to need the run. So I think he'll come on well. There's a good bunch of 3-year-olds this year, so it's going to be tough, but he's a nice horse.
Owner Marsh Shirtliff is with me now, and Marsh has got 2 horses here with Roy. Marsh, they look like 2 decent sorts, don't they?
Yeah, well, we've had Laetanilia for quite a while. She's won 2, useful, and hoping to have another 1 or 2 wins. Laf got me into this lovely little girl about a month ago, around about 2 months ago, about July time. Lovely egg celebration. They're doing very well internationally. And she's tiny, but she's well made, and yeah, we hope she does well for us.
Well, she certainly looks very racy, so I think you'll definitely have a winner or 2.
Indeed, very racy, very nice, yes.
Well, a big thank you to Roy for a wonderful evening. The hospitality has been great. We've had snacks and drinks and enjoyed seeing his wonderful string down here at Cape Town, and we wish him all the best for the Cape summer season.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's show. Just before we close, we're going to leave you with some highlights and some fun moments from the jockeys race down at Durbanville Racecourse last weekend. From myself, Julie Alexander, and the rest of the Breeding to Win team, it's been an absolute pleasure. Until next time, good night.
The first two feature races of the Cape Summer season were run at Durbanville on Saturday the 7th of October, and what a day of excitement it was. The new course is looking magnificent, and the results were an exciting taste of what's to come. Candice Bass Robinson took the Grade 3 Matcham Stakes, run over 1,400 metres, with our mate Art, going off at 10-1, ridden to victory by Aldo de Meyer and owned by Mark Bass, Bryn Russell and Marsh Shirtliff.
Our mate Art, Table Bay. Our mate Art wins it from Table Bay, Silicon Valley and Gold Standard.
The Grade 3 Diana Stakes, also over 1,400 metres, was won by the Michael Robinson-trained Good Time Gal, ridden by the great Anton Marcus and owned by Mr. J.H. Van Heerden. She was back down to 2-1 favouritism and has both the Mallorca and Paddock Stakes in her sights.
It's Good Time Gal. She's gone 2, 3, 4 lengths in front of them, and Good Time Gal gears down to victory. Good Time Gal from Gimme 6. Then came Who's That Girl, Captain's Fame.
A huge crowd turned out with the added interest of a jockey's race and family prize, possibly the largest attendance at the country course in many years. The jockey's race is always lots of fun and proved no different this year. Planning to be run in relay style, the start was cause for a steward's inquiry, but full marks to Aldo de Meyer and partner Grant van Niekerk, who made it past the post in first place.
And Grant van Niekerk has taken over from Aldo de Meyer, and he's kicked for home, and they've gone well clear into the closing stages, and Grant van Niekerk and Aldo de Meyer are once again showing them a clean pair of heels. Anthony Andrews will come out second best, Tyron Langdon out of retirement third, then came Calvin and Corbo, Bernard Fade, Herb Robin Carty and Cornet Orfer.
The event was a fundraiser for the Western Cape Equine Trust, which facilitates the rehoming of ex-thoroughbreds and racehorses. After a fun-filled day, we look forward to what the rest of the season has in store.
Carry On Alice breaks their hearts again.
Pulling clear in the closing stages. Smart Call wins the Jambi Mid. And Smart Call comes home to win it in the main Johns Farms Paddock Stakes.